This is the final project presentation for the course CS-5500 Foundations of Software Engineering under Professor Mike Shah. This is Saurabh and I'll be demoing the collaborative paint application. Let me just start by running the application. I'm entering the port number, the IP address, and first I'll be starting the server by pressing 2. Immediately after that I'll be starting my client on the same port. There we go. So we have the color palette. I can draw using red color, I can draw using green color, I can also draw using blue color, and at the same time I can select multiple brush sizes, like I'm selecting medium brush size right now, and also I'm selecting a large brush size. I can also use an eraser to erase stuff, and I can also press U. I can also let me just show you how I can draw using the yellow color, and now I can press U to undo stuff. I can press R to redo stuff. Now let's check if we are able to spawn multiple clients. So in another terminal, I'll start a new client on the same port, and we have two clients and which have the same paint history. I can draw again and you can see both the applications are changing. Let me start another instance of a client, which is the third client right now. And we have 3 clients, and that's about the demo. Let me pass over to Madhura, where she'll be explaining the code.
Hello, I'm Madhura. I'll explain the implementation of the extra feature. The extra feature of our project is having multiple brush sizes and an eraser. To implement that, we have implemented a code that checks for a specific type of event, SDL mouse button down, which occurs when user presses a mouse button. The functions is click inside brush panel and get brush size from panel are implemented to check if tile in the panel is clicked and which tile in the panel is clicked. The code checks whether mouse click occurred in the color palette or brush panel. If the click occurred in the color palette, the code determines which color was selected based on the position of the click relative to color boxes. It then sets the RGB values of the default color to the RGB values of the selected color. If the color clicked in the brush panel, the code determines the size of the brush, and if eraser is clicked based on the position of the click relative to the size buttons. Now I will pass it on to Ashok to explain about the testing.
Hey, hi, this is Ashok here. So I will walk you through like how we are doing our testing here, for application. So as we realize for the basic feature testing that we need to do. So for that, like the basic color that we are going to test, right, red, green, and blue. For that, we have written a new test case accordingly, so that we will come to know like which color is selected accordingly, and we are we able to get it right. Then afterwards, we are also able to test the extra feature that we have, like selecting a small, medium, or large brush. That is also being handled. We are getting the coordinates of the small, medium, and large position signal, and we are able to verify it like we are doing it the right signal, right way. Then moving on, we also have tested the eraser feature here as well. And moreover, the most important feature that we wanted to test was for the networking part. So for in order to test the client and server, we were able to achieve the testing by using multi-threading concept here. So we were able to use 2 threads, one for client and one for server, and we were able to see whether a client is able to send packets to a server. So in that way, we are able to perform testing for our client and server architecture. So yeah, that was the testing part. So I'll move over to Abhi.
Yes. So let's have a high level overview of what technologies we used. We obviously coded the project in DLang, and we used Dub for project configuration management. Talking about, as my teammate Ashok just mentioned about multi-threading and testing. So to have in place multi-threaded testing, we used unit threaded and other dependencies like SDL. So the most interesting thing which I found was, and we used, was GitHub Actions. This was to continuously test whenever there's a event triggered. Let's say the event is a push to the repository, or probably there's a pull request. So let's have a demo on how we figured out the CI/CD part. So as you see, this is a totally different repository because we were out of minutes for our main repository. So this is the action we have configured. And as you can see, this is already successful and all the tests are automatically tested. And I can quickly go through the YML file. Yes, as you can see, there are two events that would trigger our tests. One is pushing to the repository and one is creating a pull request to merge to the main branch. Also, we're currently targeting only the main branch. We can add new branches as possible. And, currently we're only doing dub test. If you would like to dub run in future, probably do CI/CD for running or building, we can do that as well. Yes, that's all with the project. Thank you.